All right, so picking up where we left off, x was 1, y was negative radical 3, and r was 2. So you should be able to find those 6 trig functions with those 3 values pretty easily. Pause it if you want to try it on your own and check it here in just a minute. All right, so there are your answers for number 21. We're doing the same thing for 22, 23, and 24. I'm going to not probably work these out. I'll probably just show the answers. So if you want to pause and come back to this, try 22. I'll probably do this. I'll work out 22, give you a little bit of time to check, then do 23, then 24. So go ahead and pause if you want to do 22. You can check in a minute. All right, so there's 22. 22, that was a 150-degree angle. So it's in quadrant number 2. So the reference angle, that means it's 30 degrees. That's where I got the 30 from. 180 minus 150 gives you 30. So it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So 1, radical 3, 2 is the pattern. The radical 3 is a negative because it's in quadrant number 2. And there are the answers: sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, cotangent. Double check. As always, if you get questions, let me know. All right, I encourage you to pause it. I'm going to work out 23 now. All right, so there's the triangle. It's a negative 30-degree angle, so that means the reference angle is just 30 degrees. Again, it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. So there are your values for x, y, and r. All right, so there are your answers for number 23. Notice they're pretty much the same as 22 because it was the same type of triangle. The only difference is some of the signs are different. Anywhere you have a sine, the signs are different. So sine and cosecant have different signs because we're in a different quadrant, and the same can be said about cosine. Signs are different for the cosine, the signs are different. So you're going to get these answers repeated a lot. Just different signs. If you've got questions, please let me know. If your ultimate goal is just to finish this review, it's not going to help you for the test. Test is a big grade, so you want to make sure you understand what you're doing. So let me know if you've got questions. Go and try the last one, number 24, and you can check in just a second. So the reference angle here should be 45 because 9 pi over 4 is actually 405 degrees. If you take 405 and subtract 360, that's 1 full revolution plus an extra 45 degrees. So our reference angle here is 45 degrees. So again, the pattern is 1, 1, radical 2. It's not a 30, 60, 90. A lot of using the same pattern for these, and it's cosine. So this is the pattern we've got in this problem. So our pattern should be 1, 1, radical 2. Good thing is everything is positive because we are in quadrant number 1. All right, there are your answers to number 24. Pause if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and move on. I think we are to, yeah, we're to the last page. So let's go ahead and flip over to the last page and do those real quickly. All right, last page. 25 through 32. It's all just calculator practice. Plug it into your calculator. Make sure you are in degree mode for 25 through 28. So calculator needs to be in. If you don't know how to put it in degree mode, let me know. You just press the mode button and then you look for the word degree and make sure it's bolded. But let me know if you do not know how to change your calculator to that mode. So essentially you're just going to type all these in exactly like they look. So there's your answers for 25 and 26. Remember, for 26, put that in the calculator. Cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So that's how you should get number 26. 1 divided by sine of 55.6. You're going to do something similar for number 28, except it'll be 1 divided by the cosine of that angle. So there's 25 through 28. Now, if you got any questions, pause if you need to. To do these problems, calculator needs to be in radian mode. Or you can convert the radians to degrees and then do it just like you did 25 through 28. That should be the sine of 4 pi, and that should be the cotangent of negative 7 pi. Just going to do those real quick, convert them to degrees. If you want to do it that way and put it in the calculator, or you can transfer your calculator to radian mode. Just make sure if you do that, you convert it back to degree mode after you do those 4 problems. So those are the answers for 29 through 32. Notice that last one is undefined, the cotangent of negative 7 pi. If you change negative 7 pi to a degree, it ends up being 1260, which essentially is a 180-degree angle. And if you do the trig on that, the x divided by the y ends up being a 0. So it's something divided by 0. You can't divide something by 0, you get undefined. If you type it in the calculator, it'll give you an error sign, or it'll say undefined in your calculator. So again, all you have to do for 25 through 32, put it in your calculator. 33 through 38 is similar. You can do half of this in the calculator. The important thing is you have to find all angles, all thetas in this range between 0 and 360 that satisfy the equation. Round your answers to the nearest 10th degree. So yeah, you should have 2 answers for each problem. So for this first one, to put it in the calculator, theta is just going to equal the sine, and press second sine. Anytime you're finding the angle, you're going to press second and then the trig function you're working with, and then the number 0.8657. You end up getting 59.96, which rounded to the nearest 10th is 60 degrees. So that's one of your answers. So notice we're working with the sine trig function, and it gives us a positive answer. We know sine is positive in this quadrant and this quadrant. So we already found the 60-degree angle in this quadrant. We need to find the 60-degree angle in this quadrant. And that angle right there is just 180 minus 60, which gives us 120 degrees. And remember, you can check your answer. I encourage you to check your answer. You can go back and plug your angles back in for theta. So if you type in the sine of 60 in your calculator, or the sine of 120 in your calculator, should get the same answer. And it should be, maybe not exactly 0.8657 because we rounded, but it should be pretty accurate. So if you type those both in your calculator, you get about 0.866. So you know you've done it correct because you've gone back and substituted those 2 answers back in the original problem. So always check your answers before you move on. So number 34, again, you can get one of your answers from the calculator. It has to be in between 0 and 360. And if you type in second, since we're finding the angle, you hit second cosine 0.6265, you get 51.2 degrees. So that's one of our answers. And again, this is the cosine trig function. It's positive. Cosine is positive in this quadrant, in this quadrant. So we already found the 51.2 degree angle in this quadrant. Now we need to find it in quadrant number 4. To get that, we're going to do 360 minus 51.2, and that's going to give us our other answer. So 51.2 and 308.8 are both our answers. Go back, check them. So you're going to type in the cosine of 51.2. That one should definitely work since we got that from the calculator. And take the cosine of 308.8. That's the one you definitely want to check. So if you type in the cosine of 308.8, you get about 0.6266, which is close enough to this answer to know that we've done it correctly. So number 35, the tangent, you're going to press second tangent and then 0.9852. That's where I got 44.6 in the calculator. Since tangent gives us a positive value, we're looking in quadrant number 1 and quadrant number 3 because that's where tangent is positive. So we need to find this angle right here, 44.6. So we take 180 and we add 44.6 to it, and that gives us the other value for theta that makes this equation true. So 180 plus 44.6 is 224.6 degrees. Don't forget, go back, check your answer. All right, last 3, cosecant of theta. To type this one in, again, you're going to press the second button first. Always hit the second button when you're finding the angle, no matter what. So second, since cosecant is the reciprocal of sine, you're going to hit second sine. So it's going to look like this, sine inverse. And we're going to do the reciprocal at that point inside the parentheses. So 1 divided by 2.5012. So you should get approximately 23.6 for one of your answers. Your other answer is going to be in quadrant number 2, since that number is positive. So find the 23.6 degree reference angle in quadrant number 2, and that will help you find the other answer. So 23.6 and 156.4. So there's how you type number 37 in the calculator, get your first answer, 125.7. Again, cosine or secant in this example is negative, so your answers should be in quadrant number 2 and quadrant number 3. We've already found an answer in quadrant 2. We just now need an answer in quadrant 3. So let's do this one real quick. So we've seen one exactly like this. So that's my 125.7 degree angle, meaning its reference angle is 180 minus 125.7, which would be 54.3. So we're looking for this angle in quadrant 3 that has that same reference angle, 54.3 degrees. So our answer is this angle 180 plus 54.3. It's 234.3 degrees. Check your answer in the calculator.